Hello, YouTube. I am making my first real video that I've made in probably about 4 years for a movie review. I will not be reading lines this time. I kind of figured out from reading some comments from a comment that I had on YouTube once that apparently some people thought I just sounded like shit when I did that, so I'm not doing that again. That was like 4 years ago, and I was in school when I was doing it, and I think they wanted me to like read off lines or something, and partly it was because like I just found it easier at the time, but I'm just gonna wing it. Movie I'm gonna review today is the classic 1986 action film starring Sylvester Stallone, Cobra. Hope you can see it from here. Yeah, this stars Sylvester Stallone. It's from 1986. It's an action film. It is 30 years old this year as of Memorial Day weekend. It'll be its 30th anniversary. And I'm just gonna say it stars Sylvester Stallone. It stars Bridget Nielsen, who was actually Stallone's wife at one point at the time of this filming, time of this movie, as well as it stars Rini Santoni. It stars, let me see, the music is by Sylvester LeVay, film editor Don Zimmerman, excuse me. It's produced by Menahem Golan and Yoram Globus. It's directed by George P. Cosmatos, and I gotta say, I think he was a great director. May he rest in peace. I think he died, I heard, in 2005 from lung cancer. This movie is rated R. Interesting fact, this movie literally almost got an X rating when they originally shot it. They had to heavily cut a lot of stuff out of it because of the fact that I think it was just like, I'm not sure if there was some major sex scenes that were really heavy or at all, or if it was mainly just like a lot of blood and gore at first, or what. I don't really know. For one thing, this is a Blu-ray, and there's probably going to be a ton of spoilers in this video, so if you've never seen this movie and you don't want to know what happens, I would turn this video off right now and check out this movie when you get a chance, and then watch this video. I'm just gonna read what it says in the back of the Blu-ray. Stallone roars onto high-def Blu-ray as the lawman who stops crime with unstoppable force. Like Sylvester Stallone's Rocky and Rambo, the hero of Cobra is another original, Lieutenant Marion Cobretti, a one-man assault force whose laser-mount submachine gun and pearl-handled Colt .45 spit pure crime-stopping venom. Director George P. Cosmatos, Rambo First Blood Part 2, Tombstone rejoins Stallone for this thriller pitting Cobretti against a merciless serial killer. The trail leads to not one murderer, but to an army of psychos bent on sloshing their way to a new order and killing the inadvertent witness Bridget Nielsen. Or Brigitte Nielsen. I might just say Bridget. I don't know. Depends on how I feel. To their latest blood spree. Unfortunately, Cobra is her protector. Fortunately, Cobra is her protector, and full throttle screen excitement doesn't get any better. Pros to this Blu-ray, of this movie on Blu-ray, is it is in high definition. It says 1080p high definition. It is in 16 by 9 widescreen, and I gotta be honest, because of the current TVs that we have, modern day TVs that we have right now, of 1.78 by 1, this movie is in 1.85 by 1. It comes in full frame on your television without having to zoom to fit full frame, and you're seeing the whole picture, except for the fact that you're probably missing a hair on the left and right, I can imagine. This Blu-ray was released, I think it looks like it says 2011 Warner Brothers Entertainment. There's not really much for special features on this. There's a commentary by director George P. Cosmatos, which is just, it's a running audio commentary during the film that you can select while you're watching it from start to finish, which is kind of interesting to watch if like you kind of just feel like you want to watch it with the director, as if like they were actually there if you want, even though you can't see them obviously, which is kind of cool, but some people might find that boring, watching something with audio commentary. Then there's a short making of featurette, which is probably about like 7 to 8 minutes or something, maybe not even that. It's pretty cool and it's pretty good. The making of featurette does not come in high definition. It comes in 4:3, probably like, it doesn't even look like 480p, because the cameras that they shot it with were really bad, because it was the 80s, you know, and they didn't have that good of cameras back then when they, on some like television stations and things back then. And then it's got one single theatrical trailer. Well, okay. This movie, I gotta say, this is one of my favorite action films. I'd say favorite action films that I've seen. I actually prefer this over Rambo. First Blood, Rambo First Blood Part 2, Rambo 3, and Rambo from 2008. Because those films, to me, don't have enough action for me. I like an action film that is just action, 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 like all throughout from start to finish. And this right here is one of those kind of films that, and like with very little talking, unless it literally has to do with exactly what is going on, and that is when there's talking in this. Basically, and what happens in the film, it starts out with basically this logo. On the Blu-ray it comes with a new Warner Brothers logo. On a DVD of it, it'll come with the old Warner Brothers logo. Then it basically just says like Warner Brothers and said some opening credits, and it has Stallone saying some dialogue, and he's holding up a gun, and while he's holding up the gun, he's ready to shoot, and he says, and it's like, and he goes like, in America, there's a burglary every 11 seconds, an armed robbery every 65 seconds, a violent crime every 25 seconds, a murder every 24 minutes, and 250 rapes a day, or something like that. And then he just like shoots at the camera, and it just goes like, and it's like something like that, and it says the word Cobra. That right there I think is pretty cool. And it's like, whoa, like all those statistics, it's just like all the bad things that like he's talking about. It's like, oh my gosh, it's like, wow, like 250 rapes a day, like a murder every like 24 minutes or something, and it's like, oh my gosh, you know, it's like, wow, and it's like, yikes. And I gotta be honest, I think when he, now I'm a big James Bond fan, and I gotta say, this reminds me of like the gun barrel, like how Bond, like it's like and then all of a sudden Bond just goes like, and you see blood on the screen, wherever it goes, moves, and it's like, and then it's like just goes to the phone. It kind of reminds me of that, but it's kind of takes its own approach, and I think it's pretty cool. Well, it starts out with basically shows this guy. He's on a bike and on like a motorcycle, and he's just cruising. And while he's cruising, is like this red, like infrared screen or something like that. It looks kind of cool. I haven't noticed it in any other movies. I don't know if it was like just a thing they used to do back 30 years ago or something. This film is pretty intense. It is like a thriller. Like I think it said something. I think I even said that it's a thriller. Like it's kind of like thrilling. But like, well, anyway, while the guys are on the bike, it kind of switches to basically this whole army of killers that are just banging axes together in a warehouse where I heard it's like there was an old pool or something there, and it's like, and they're like just banging axes together, and it's like clink clink. It's like and so they're just like banging axes together, and it's just kind of like, what is going on here? It's like, what the heck is this? And I was saying, like, eventually the guy who's cuts back to the guy who's running it. At one point it cuts to, like, it shows this tattoo. They had this like suspicious tattoo like on their wrist or their arm or something. It shows, it looks like a skull or something. It looks kind of cool but very weird at the same time. Anyway, yeah, so it shows that. Then basically the guy, he goes to this supermarket. He stops at a supermarket. He goes into a handicapped parking space, and he's acting kind of strange. And he walks in the store, kind of like, almost like a dead man. He almost looks like he's like a Walking Dead man or something. Like, I don't follow The Walking Dead, that TV series. I don't know. I just have not had any interest in it. But I'm saying it's like as if he's like a zombie or something. Like he's almost like a dead man. He's like walking in his sleep. He's just like, he's got some shades on. He's got a beanie, and he's all in black. And he's just walking in the store quietly. And then people are just like walking around the store and shopping and stuff while he is going through there. And he goes through there. And when he's going through there, I'm just going to check something, see if it's just recording still. Okay, good. This is just my first video, and I just got this camera today, and just making sure it's working okay. Yeah, so anyway, yeah, he's going in there. He eventually, and he's just kind of like, almost like hassling people.